So based on the demographics that I see, the age demographics for my channel, it's pretty much a safe assumption to assume that at least 95% of people that regularly watch my segments, you guys were alive and obviously mature enough to watch the run-up to the Iraq invasion by the Bush administration. You remember the lies, you remember Colin Powell, you remember the DOJ memos that came out years later justifying, excusing, and allowing the use of torture against detainees at Guantanamo Bay and various other black sites around the world. In other words, you remember how the administration, the Bush administration, lied to us about everything and used the DOJ to manipulate the law to excuse the war crimes they were committing. And the reason I bring that up is because recently, just last week, we got a leaked memo from the Trump administration justifying his illegal strikes on boats in the Caribbean that are allegedly these drug cartels. And the memo reads exactly like the crap we got out of the Bush administration. We are already repeating that history with Donald Trump to justify his war crimes. And yes, according to the International Criminal Court at The Hague, these are war crimes. In fact, as I discussed last week, a Heritage Foundation fellow, a law professor at the Scalia School of Law, a MAGA lawyer, already admitted Trump could easily be prosecuted at The Hague for this particular war crime of bombing these boats. But here is what we got. Let me read you this. This is from the report about the memo. The legal opinion, which was produced by the Justice Department's Office of Legal Counsel and has not been previously reported, argues that the president is allowed to authorize deadly force against a broad range of cartels because they pose an imminent threat to Americans. The list of cartels goes beyond those the administration has publicly designated as terrorist organizations, the people familiar with the opinion said. And then CNN reported, by this logic, any small, medium, or big group that is trafficking drugs into the U.S., the administration could claim it amounts to an attack against the United States and respond with lethal force, said one former Department of Defense attorney. Meanwhile, current judge advocates general told CNN that even officials who disagree with the assessment cannot defy an Office of Legal Counsel opinion. One said, quote, "The way forward is just to eat it and put your head down and act in accordance with Hegseth's new policies. No jag is trying to rock the boat or get noticed." So in other words, these judge advocates general that are currently serving, these JAG officers currently serving, are telling us that this is going to be a situation where you just have to follow orders. Doesn't matter if those orders are illegal. Doesn't mean if those orders are human rights violations. Doesn't matter if those orders are war crimes. Legally, you have to just follow orders. Now, what's horrible about that for the soldiers who are just following orders is later on, you can still be prosecuted for that. If not here in the United States, then over at The Hague. So keep that in mind. Yeah, it may be illegal for you to defy the orders. You may get court-martialed for it, but that's probably going to be a better punishment than whatever The Hague institutes upon you. So, got to weigh out those options there, right, soldiers? It's so bad, in fact, that John Yoo, who, again, a lot of you probably remember from the first Bush or the W. Bush administration, John Yoo, the guy that authored the torture memos justifying war crimes for the Bush administration, even he came out recently and was like, holy war crimes, you can't just bomb boats with no justification. You said, quote, "There has to be a line between crime and war. We can't just consider anything that harms the country to be a matter for the military because that could potentially include every crime." Says the guy who said, no, torture these people. It's totally legal. Go for it. Put the electrodes on them and light them up like Christmas trees in that infamous Abu Ghraib photo. Like, even he is like, holy crap, you guys, this is bad. Like, I'm an evil person, but Jesus. That's what he's telling us. It doesn't matter how they justify it, it's illegal. On top of it, and this is something that cannot get lost in the shuffle, there's no evidence these were even cartel boats. We don't know. They haven't shared the evidence. They've just said, oh no, we think it is. That's not good enough. You're killing human beings. But this is the secret war plan. They're launching war against these boats. It's been leaked. We know about it now. We know their justification. There is no justification. And eventually, the lower down, the subordinates, the ones who carried out these attacks, they're going to be the ones held responsible for just following orders. Thanks for watching, everyone. You know, we're inching closer and closer to 1 million subscribers, and we're aiming to hit that goal before the year closes. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thanks for joining us as we head towards this huge milestone.